Before we begin, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss videos that help you unlock your inner power and connect with the universe on a new level. And if you're ready to receive the energy of abundance right now, type 777 in the comments. Now let's dive into something that can completely transform your reality. What if I told you that your life could radically change in the next few hours? That everything you've been waiting for, love, money, health, new opportunities, could finally manifest right now? Not someday in the distant future, but literally today. Because that is exactly what is about to happen. This isn't fantasy or self-persuasion. This is a clear method that has helped thousands of people quickly receive what they desire. Today, you will learn how to do the same. So if you're ready to stop hoping and start receiving, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and write in the comments, "It already belongs to me." By the time you finish watching this video, you won't just believe in the power of manifestation. You will feel that it truly works. Most people live their lives in constant waiting. They wait for the right opportunity, the perfect moment, the ideal circumstances. But what if waiting isn't necessary at all? What if the ability to create your desired reality is already within you, and all that's required is a small internal shift? This isn't about wishful thinking or empty positive phrases said with doubt. It's something much simpler and far more effective. Those who used this approach began seeing results literally. Think about it. When you order something with next day delivery, you don't spend the whole day worrying whether it will arrive. You don't doubt it or check the tracking every 3 minutes in fear that the package will disappear. You simply know it's on its way. And that kind of certainty is the key to manifestation. Most people struggle because they let their mind dictate the timing. They hope, they wait, they ask themselves, when will it happen? But that very question prevents events from unfolding. Manifestation is not waiting. It is knowing. It is aligning your energy with what you desire so precisely that reality has no choice but to match it. For a long time, the manifestation process was made overly complicated. But the truth is, it doesn't take years to master. Everything happens the moment you shift your inner state. There is a specific way to do this, and once you apply it, everything begins to accelerate. Now is the moment of change. It doesn't matter when exactly you hear this message. The timing is perfect. You are here for a reason. What you want is already moving toward you, and today you will learn how to receive it. Your mind works like a GPS in a car. When you enter a destination, the system immediately creates a route and guides you step by step. It doesn't doubt whether you'll get there. It simply follows the coordinates. If you take a wrong turn, the GPS instantly recalculates and offers a new route. Your mind functions the same way. Once you form a clear intention, it begins adjusting your thoughts, perception, and actions to match the desired outcome. The key is to trust the process and stay focused on the goal. If you believe that manifestation will take years, your mind will arrange your thoughts, decisions, and events so that it does take years. It's not about luck or extreme effort. It's simply the result of how your brain is programmed. Most people don't realize how they limit the speed of their own transformation. They believe success requires many years of hard work. They believe relationships must develop slowly. They believe financial freedom comes only after decades of effort. But these are just beliefs, and they can be rewritten. In reality, your world aligns with the level of your certainty. If you believe something takes a long time, it will. If you believe it can happen in a few days, that becomes possible too. Dr. Joe Dispenza explains that the brain is a tool that stores records of the past, and most people act according to the same emotional patterns they've had for years. But when you stop reliving old reactions and shift into a new state, you open the door to new possibilities. Quantum physics confirms that all probable versions of the future already exist. The version of you who already has what you want is absolutely real. It's simply waiting for you to synchronize with it. Think of healing cases. Sometimes doctors predict 6 months of recovery, yet the patient returns to normal in just a few weeks. How is that possible? Because time doesn't always determine the speed of change. It depends on belief, state, and inner energy. There are studies where people took a placebo, believing it was real medicine, and their bodies responded as if it were a powerful drug. The mind's expectations change the body's behavior. There are countless examples of people achieving the impossible simply by refusing to follow conventional timelines. Think of someone who receives a job offer just days after deciding to start a new career, or an athlete who recovers faster than doctors believe possible, or someone who meets the perfect partner immediately after letting go of anxiety about love. This isn't coincidence, it's alignment. The past does not define your future unless you allow it to. What once took years doesn't have to repeat the same way. The only thing that determines the speed of manifestation is the degree of your certainty. When you truly know something is happening now, not someday, your entire energy shifts. You step into the version of reality where your desire already exists. And it all comes down to a simple truth. The best tool for manifestation is not steps, rituals, or practices. It is your inner state. It is total conviction that your desire is already fulfilled. Not hope, not an attempt to believe, but knowing. Because the moment you confidently say, I know for sure, reality begins to shift instantly. When you say, I am certain, these are not just words. It is a transition into a state where your desire is no longer a possibility. It becomes an internal fact. And this moment is crucial, though many people miss it when practicing manifestation. People think of their dreams as something they must chase, something far ahead. But the only reason something feels distant is because the mind hasn't accepted it as already done. Dr. Joe Dispenza says the quantum field does not respond to what you want. It responds to the state you are in. If you see yourself as someone who is always waiting, life will continue giving you more waiting. But if you begin to feel like someone who already has what they desire, your reality must align with that new identity. When you reach full inner agreement, when hope turns into certainty, reality organizes itself around it. But what is true certainty? Think of something you know absolutely. For example, your name. If someone asks you, are you sure this is your name? You won't doubt or repeat affirmations. You don't need to visualize your name. You simply know it. That is the level of inner knowing required for manifestation. Most people never reach this state because they leave a small door open for doubt. They say, I hope it happens, or I really want this. But deep inside there is uncertainty. And that lack of full belief slows everything down. The quantum field always reflects your inner state. The stronger your certainty, the faster reality responds. If you're only half sure, the result will be blurry. If you're fully certain, changes happen very quickly. Now let's explore why the time frame of 1 hour is so significant. This isn't a random number. It relates to how your mind works. When you set a goal for a year ahead, the rational part of your brain starts analyzing, doubting, imagining obstacles, and all of that creates resistance. That's why the process drags on. But an hour is too short for the mind to sabotage you. You simply expect it to happen, and that expectation is the decisive moment. Imagine planting seeds in a field. You don't dig them up every day to check whether they've sprouted. You trust the process. You water them, care for them, give them sunlight. A seed grows because you allow it to grow. Manifestation works the same way. The problem is that most people don't trust the process. They plant the seed of their desire and then begin to worry, doubt, check, and recheck. And by doing so, they disrupt the natural unfolding. Impatience destroys growth. The secret is to plant your intention and then allow it to unfold, just as a farmer trusts the changing of the seasons. The subconscious mind doesn't distinguish imagination from reality. If you believe in something with your whole being, the body responds as if it has already happened. The brain produces corresponding chemical compounds, emotions shift, and your energy adapts to a new version of reality. That's why people who constantly live in stress and anxiety attract even more anxiety. They keep themselves locked in the energy of their fears. But when you begin to live in the emotional state of your desired outcome, your desires start to manifest effortlessly. If what I'm saying resonates with you, hit the like button right now. It helps the energy of this video reach those who truly need it. And write in the comments, I open myself to new possibilities if you feel your consciousness beginning to align with your desired reality. Now, let's continue. The most important part is ahead. Let's talk about the state of flow. Have you ever had moments when everything fell into place perfectly, effortlessly? When you weren't forcing anything, not trying to control every detail, things just happened. That very state accelerates manifestation. Most people either push too hard, trying to control every step, or they do nothing at all, hoping something will change. But the secret lies in balance. It's the state where you know your desire is already fulfilled, while remaining open to the way it will unfold. Imagine flying a kite. If you pull the string too hard, the kite falls. But if you find a balance, it rises easily. Manifestation follows the same laws. When you trust that the universe is already, people are taught from childhood that everything takes time. That success is slow. Healing is difficult. Money is scarce. But these thoughts are just old programs, and they can be changed. Dr. Joe Dispenza talks about neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to rewire itself. The more often you reinforce a belief, the stronger the corresponding neural pathway becomes. If you constantly tell yourself that change is slow, the brain organizes your reality accordingly. But if you begin to strengthen the belief that things can happen quickly, the brain will rewire itself to match that belief. Think of elite athletes. They don't just train their bodies. Their minds work just as intensely. They visualize success so clearly that their brains activate the same neural circuits as if they were physically performing the action. That's why the best of the best achieve results faster. They live their victory internally long before it happens externally, and the outer world is forced to catch up with that inner experience. You can do the same. The more often you see yourself as someone for whom manifestation is natural and effortless, the faster it becomes your truth. So what happens if, right now, you decide that your desire is already fulfilled? Not in a year, not someday, but now. The moment you stop doubting, stop postponing, and shift from waiting to knowing, you accelerate the process. The world doesn't follow a rigid schedule. Reality adjusts to the state of alignment. The only thing standing between you and what you want is the level of your certainty. Master this, and you eliminate the struggles associated with manifestation. Let's go deeper to completely transform your understanding of flow and reality. When you fully enter the state of flow, you stop being someone who waits for fulfillment. You become someone who already possesses the desired outcome. There are no doubts, no expectations, no questions like, will it happen? In your inner world, it has already happened. And once it is real for your consciousness, physical reality must catch up. When you adopt a new state of being, the brain and body begin to experience it as if it has already materialized. This isn't mere imagination. It's a neurophysiological shift that changes your energy and, therefore, the entire course of events. Imagine a light switch. You don't doubt that the lamp will turn on. You don't worry. You don't ask yourself, what if it doesn't work? You simply press the button and expect light. That level of certainty is the foundation of manifestation. When you reach such inner knowing, your desires become inevitable. They stop being dreams. They become an activated reality that the universe delivers based on your state. This is an abstraction. It's something that works in practice. Many people achieve results that seem impossible from a logical standpoint precisely because of this approach. Let's break down how this shows up in real life. Dr. Joe Dispenza explains that the quantum field resonates not with your requests, but with your identity. That's why changing your inner self-image is the most powerful action you can take. When you enter a state of certainty, the outer world reflects it. Imagine someone searching for an opportunity, but logic says it's impossible. But the quantum field doesn't follow logic, it responds to energy. When a person chooses certainty, events begin to unfold in unexpected ways. For example, someone is looking for the perfect home in a city where everything is booked months in advance. Realtors say there are no available options. Most people would give up, but someone using this method doesn't focus on lack. They hold the state of a person who already lives in the right place. And suddenly a coincidence happens. Someone moves out unexpectedly. A hidden opportunity appears. The right connection shows up. Reality adjusts because the inner vibration changed. And this applies not only to things, but to relationships, opportunities, and unexpected breakthroughs. Dispenza presents research showing that the brain doesn't distinguish vivid imagination from actual experience. Holding a thought with strong emotion triggers the same biochemical response as if it had already happened. And once the energy changes, the physical world changes too. Now let's look at the scientific side. When you're in doubt or merely hoping, the brain activates regions associated with fear, uncertainty, and lack. This reinforces the state of not having. But when you enter full certainty, the brain switches into a different mode. Neuroimaging studies show that the centers of doubt quiet down, and the brain begins to function as if the desired outcome is already real. And that's extraordinary. These processes aren't limited to the mind. They radiate through your entire electromagnetic field. Dispenza teaches that your field emits signals to which the quantum environment responds. If your field is filled with fear, stagnation, and waiting, the quantum field returns more of the same. But if your field is saturated with certainty, reality begins to organize itself at that frequency. That's why some people seem to magically attract perfect timing, success. What if you could enter a state of absolute certainty that your desire is already moving toward you? If you hold this state for even 1 hour, you will see events begin to shift in ways you couldn't have predicted. Because the moment you stop waiting and start knowing, you become truly unstoppable. When you shift into full certainty, remarkable changes occur, not only in your thinking but in your body. Brain waves transition into gamma, the same frequency recorded in monks and advanced meditators who have trained for years. This isn't theory, it's an observable scientific fact. In this state, the brain operates at peak performance. It forms connections faster, processes information more efficiently, and, most importantly, harmonizes all your systems toward the desired outcome. Think of things you are absolutely certain about. You don't doubt that the sun will rise tomorrow. You don't question whether gravity holds you. You don't recheck your name every day. You simply know these things. When you think about them, you feel no anxiety, no tension, no doubt. You rest in calm certainty. And if you can transfer that level of natural knowing to your desires, they will materialize far more quickly. This is the crucial boundary between hope and knowing. At first glance, the difference may seem small, but in reality is enormous. Joe Dispenza explains that the state of hope still contains a trace of doubt. You allow for 2 possibilities. It might work or it might not. But when you shift into a state of complete knowing, all other options simply cease to exist. Only one remains, the one you have already accepted internally as a fact. On a biological level, the following happens. The nervous system enters a state of harmony. Heart rate variability improves, a sign of inner balance. Stress hormones decrease, and the body exits the fight or flight mode. This is the ideal internal environment for manifestation, because stress blocks the energy needed to attract what you desire. And here's what's important. Once you declare your certainty, let the situation go. This is absolutely key. You don't need to constantly check your phone or email for signs. That is a signal of doubt. Imagine you ordered a package. You don't refresh the tracking page every 5 seconds. You simply know it will arrive. The same applies here. If you keep looking for proof, it means you are actually in a state of uncertainty. Many people never achieve results because, even after believing for a moment, they start searching for confirmation, and this resets their state of certainty. If you're truly certain, you don't need to look for anything. You continue your day in a calm, knowing that what you desire is already moving toward you. There is another important recommendation. Don't share your manifestation process with others, at least not during this special hour of certainty. Why? Because other people's doubts, fears, and limiting beliefs can weaken your energy. Even the kindest people can unintentionally say something that plants a microscopic seed of doubt within you. And doubt is what instantly breaks the flow. So protect your state of certainty. Keep it within yourself. And most importantly, you don't need to sit still in meditation for the entire hour. On the contrary, it's better to continue with your normal activities. Because if you truly believe your desire is already fulfilled, you won't put your life on pause. Think about breathing. You don't sit and ask yourself, will the next breath come? It comes naturally. You simply live. That is the level of naturalness your certainty must reach. Now it's your turn. Don't wait for perfect conditions. Don't postpone. Apply this approach today. Enter a state of absolute certainty. Choose a desire, any desire. Declare firmly. Then let go and continue your day knowing that the universe is already working on it. Because when you stop doubting, stop waiting, and stop hoping, and instead begin knowing, everything starts moving. Everything accelerates. Everything aligns in the most incredible ways. The truth is, you are far more powerful than you've been taught to believe. Your mind, your energy, and your certainty create reality on a level deeper than most people can comprehend. You are not here to wait painfully or hope for a miracle. You are here to create, to step into your power and claim the life that rightfully belongs to you. From this moment on, make a decision. No doubts. No hesitation. No questioning. Live knowing that everything you seek is already seeking you. Move forward with the confidence that everything is unfolding in your favor. Because when you radiate such certainty, the universe has no choice but to respond in kind. If what you heard today helped you feel the power within yourself, be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Support this space so we can continue exploring the secrets of the mind and the universe together. And write 777 in the comments if you choose the path of abundance. See you in the next video. May the energy work in your favor.